Hi, this is Christy Marks, the writer of Gem and the Holograms and Beast Wars, and you're listening to Geekcast Radio Network.
Hey, it's Jesse Rass here, and you've made the great escape into comics by jumping inside the pull bag today.
Illusion is the ultimate weapon.
You've just jumped inside the pull bag. This is episode 585. We've got just a few more episodes until the landmark 600th episode of this podcast, folks. I am, of course, TFG and Mike, and I'm coming to you live, kind of, sort of, not really, since this is always recorded, but this is episode 585, and I am pulling a switcheroo. This is going to be the IDW Publishing M.A.S.K episode that Jesse Earley, a.k.a. Matrix Prime, from Another Comic Review, that's his podcast. We recorded this as episode 586. Originally, this was going to be Skybound Entertainment, Transformers Volume 2, Transport to Oblivion, but Steve Megatron and I haven't been able to record that just yet. So, instead of waiting for episode 586 and getting the M.A.S.K episode, because as of this recording, Skybound Entertainment has released M.A.S.K number 1. You are going to be getting on that release day, even though it'll be backdated and yada, 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 yada. This will be episode 585, and this is going to be our coverage of the IDW Publishing story for M.A.S.K, Mobile Armored Strike Command. This is the full trade. This is my conversation with Jesse Earley, where we review the IDW Publishing story for M.A.S.K, written by Brandon Easton. So please enjoy. Originally, this was going to be episode 586. It is now 585. M.A.S.K is 31 years old at this point. The cartoon debuted in 1985. It only had 75 episodes. If you want to go back in the cartoon vaults here on the Geekcast Radio Network, you can check out a podcast called Masked Mayhem with my buddy Optimus Solo, where we discussed all 75 episodes of M.A.S.K. Actually, I think Optimus Solo tapped out after the first season, and my other buddy Tim Silvers helped me finish out the racing season, which is those last 10 episodes. But anyway, folks, please enjoy the Pull Bags episode 585, M.A.S.K from IDW Publishing. And now, on with the show.
Are you ready for more? Let's go.
All right, you good to go?
As good as I'm going to be.
It'll be painless, I promise. It'll be painless. Hey, look, I'm doing all the work this time. You have just jumped inside the pull bag. I am TFG and Mike, and today's featured guest is none other than Jesse from Another Comic Review. Hey, it's been a while since we had Jesse on the show, folks.
You said 2023?
2024, technically. You had your podcast approach over on Studio 2009.
It's a couple years.
Yeah, a couple years. We're fast approaching your 3-year anniversary of your own podcast, June 16th of this year. You think you got this comics thing down?
I don't know if I got it down, but I've certainly been reading far more comics than what I imagined I was going to be. And right, it's not just the Energon Universe stuff, which is what we've been covering, but I've been reading other stuff as well. So
yeah,
that's kind of actually surprised me quite a bit.
Well, that's good. That just means in a couple of years or so, you can jump back inside the pull bag with me and go through the 30 questions all about reading comics. So same premise as the podcast approach, just 30 questions about comics. But today, folks, leading up to the stuff with the Energon Universe that's currently going on, we're going to head back to the IDW Publishing Vault and make sure our spectrums are ready, because illusion is the ultimate weapon. That's right. even though Skybound already released their free comic book day issue for 2026, which gave us our first taste of their version of Mobile Armored Strike Command, their full launch is June 3rd. I thought it would be awesome that we unleash some of our own mass mayhem right here on the Geekcast Radio Network and discuss the IDW series ahead of the Skybound launch. Oh yeah, also, this episode will be a double bill on the pull bag and the old school M.A.S.K cartoon review show that Optimus Solo and I did way back in the day in 2011. I can't believe it was 2011 that we did Masked Mayhem. So for those that may not remember, and for those that do remember, Masked Mayhem was us reviewing all 75 episodes of M.A.S.K from 1985. And honestly, really, you only need to watch the first season. It's 65 episodes because 65 was syndication in the olden days. Those last 10 episodes was deemed, the second season of the show was deemed the racing season. It's not that good. Heck, he even, Optimus Solo tapped out. I had to bring in a ringer. I had to bring in my buddy, Toon Master Tim, to finish out the show with me. But this comic from IDW, wowzers. Oh boy. But first, the creative team for this whole series was written by Brandon Easton. You've probably heard his name before. I don't have all of his credits in front of me. I actually just have the titled the creative page from the trade paperback in front of me, but he has written multiple other things. I believe he's written some Transformers stuff. I'll talk more about him later. In this trade for Revolution, the art was done by Tony Vargas. The colors were done by Jordi Escuin. I'm sorry, Jordy, if I butchered your name. Letters were done by Chris Mowry. Tony Vargas basically did most of the art. Issue 3 was Juan Samu. Colors in the entire thing were done by Jordy. So that's awesome. Drew Moss did the art on issue 10, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So yeah, M.A.S.K. I had never read this. It would just never, in the IDW publishing landscape, when it comes to the Hasbro stuff, I stuck with Transformers, and that's all I had read. I read G.I. Joe when it crossed over with Transformers. I've read several G.I. Joe trades. And we've covered several of the G.I. Joe trades on the podcast, but I don't know. I just never got around to doing this until the next company that got the license was like, hey, guess what? We're going to do this. And I'm like, oh, crap. Well, let's go back in time. So there are 12 issues in this trade. You got the 1 through 10 for the main series. We got the Revolution one-shot and the annual from 2017. Now, I normally don't do this. I like it when it's being used as a tool to accomplish a goal. But I loathe AI in general, as a general thing. And you people are going to hear this way later, but today kind of proves my point. Somebody on the internet decided to put out a 44th anniversary Knight Rider Hot Wheels image. There is no 44th anniversary Knight Rider Hot Wheels thing. It's not happening. There is no car coming out from Hot Wheels celebrating the 44th anniversary of Knight Rider. They would never do that. They would just never do that. So it's the that's what I don't like about artificial intelligence, is when people use it for misinformation. Now, if you're going to use it as a tool and to do good things with it, fine, great. For the preparation of this record, because we weren't sure if we were going to sit here for what we normally sit here for, my buddy Joe and I will sit here through this trade or any trade. Like, our Turtles coverage is 2.5 to 3 hours long. And I know I can hear in my headphones Jesse rolling his eyes. Yes, his eye rolls are audible, folks. Trust me, I can hear it. And
I was actually laughing. But
okay, well, same difference. But he'll ask me, who listens to 2.5 hour, 3 hour podcasts besides you? There is an art form to long form podcasting, and it just depends, because for me personally, even if I wasn't just a hermit homebody who hates leaving his house and doesn't like interacting with people out in the, I love going outside. I love going out and sitting on my little patio out here, or I love taking a walk or actually being out in nature. It's just too people-y outside. I don't like being around crowds. I don't like being around people in general. Specific people, more than fine. Absolutely. But if you get me in a crowd, more than 5 people, including myself, I'm done. It's too much stimulation for me. So that's why I don't like that kind of stuff. But the long form podcast, for me, it's like, oh, it's a 3-hour tour. It's a 3-hour podcast. I can listen to the first hour now, and I can take a break and come back to it later, or I can find a good stopping point, or if they have ad breaks, or if they have whatever. It is what it is, but we are going to try to condense this as best we can. And in that vein, I did something that I never would normally do on any of my podcasts that I produce.
Hell has frozen over.
Yes, because I prefer actual intelligence to artificial intelligence, but here we are. And even though this note says I wanted to see what this would say or would come up with for this, and I said I was not going to read this, but I am actually going to read this. The Google AI summary for this trade. It breaks down each section of the thing. So for the Revolution one-shot, summary, origin, and setup, Miles Mayhem runs Project Spectrum, a government-funded trading program using OR-13 technology derived from Cybertronian transformers to create advanced masks, vehicles, the turn, Mayhem, a war-hardened soldier, yada, 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 yada. Venom's creation, Mayhem secretly handpicks trainees, Vanessa Warfield, Sly Rax, and Bruno Shepard. And then it breaks down masks 1 through 10, issues 1 through 10, and the 2016-2017 run. And it breaks all of this down. Now, I'm clearly glossing over this, and one of your biggest fears in even wanting to even doing this with me is it's going to spoil my entire Transformers run because it crosses over with Transformers and G.I. Joe. Where this is in that, I think there's, I said this to you off air, I'll say it to you on air. There's enough here where there's like, you don't, because it's just the Mask Revolution one shot. I think you'll be okay. It's so far flung in the past at this point, and you haven't gotten to that future. Yes, go ahead.
So I did read the entire thing, right? Last we talked, I had not read the entire thing. And
right.
Like, between yesterday and today, I was able to finish reading it. I was like halfway through, I think, when we talked last. But yeah, I was able to finish it. So maybe when I was talking to you, like I explained it wrong. I wasn't worried about being spoiled with the IDW Transformer stuff, because I think like that stuff, right, where there's robots in disguise and more than meets the eye, that doesn't play into this at all.
No,
I think what I had previously read if assuming this takes place at around the same time, was an IDW series, and then I just quit reading it after a while. But my concern was, and I didn't really enjoy that. So that must have been, I think, the one that ties into this, maybe. Okay. My concern wasn't being spoiled by the IDW stuff. My concern, again, I think I probably used the wrong terminology here. My concern was kind of being, because all of this is going to be within the shared universe within the Energon universe.
No. No.
I know this isn't. I'm saying all of the properties within the Energon universe, right? They're all going to come in together, and M.A.S.K is obviously going to play a part into that. My concern was that it's going to give me these preconceived notions of what we're going to see going into like the Energon universe version of M.A.S.K.
I got you. Okay, I get it.
Like, I didn't want it to ruin that experience for me.
No, I don't think that's good. No, see, for me, like, that never affects me because I understand that this is this writer, this creator's version of it. And this is Brandon's stamp on it. This is his story. Whatever Mr. Waters is going to create is going to be his and Skybound's story with it. And I don't think they're going to take too much from this. I think
I'm hoping not, but I know for me personally, like with The Crow, for example, like I've never read the comic, but I love the first Crow movie. And it's like that to me is like perfection in terms of that story. Again, I have not read the comic, so maybe the comic is better. I don't know, but I've only watched the movie, right? And then I take that and I compare it with any other Crow thing that comes out, right? Like including the new one that happened a couple of years ago. It's like I'm taking that first thing because I enjoyed it so much, and I compare everything else to it. Like that's what I kind of didn't want to do going into the Energon Universe version of the M.A.S.K, where it's like, if I enjoyed this, well, now I'm only going to be let down by what I'm going to see in the Energon Universe, or maybe it'll be far superior to what I read here. Like that was my biggest concern. So now it's like, am I going in sullied now? I don't know, because I
don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think you are. I had highs and lows as this progressed. At first, I didn't like... So where I was coming from with this, because I started reading it before I was late to Free Comic Book Day, which is why you find people don't hear me on the Free Comic Book Day episode of Another Comic Review. I was very late to that, unfortunately. But... so where I come from with this is like, I'm thinking animated series. I'm thinking 1985. I am not thinking Scott and T-Bob. Thank God. That stupid Scooter and that damn kid are not in this. Thank God. Matt's kid and his damn Scooter are not in this. And I'll show you. I'm sure you've seen videos of that. If you haven't, I'll show you later. But it's one of those things where I come from growing up with the cartoon. And because it's an 80s cartoon, what do all 80s cartoons have? They have to have the sidekick. And every side, Transformers had Spike to a general, I guess, team-up thing. Bumblebee was Spike's, or technically Spike was Bumblebee's sidekick. But you have to have a sidekick. Thundercats had Snarf, and other cartoons had whatever. Well, in M.A.S.K, Scott, who is Matt's son, is the sidekick, and then Scott has his little scooter, T-Bob. And most annoying thing about that that show, even though we can curse on here, I just decided to do that. So that's where I was coming from. Walking into anytime anyone says M.A.S.K to me, even though I love, the vehicle transformations, I love the team assembly, I love all that, I love the music of the original cartoon series, So that's where I was coming from. And thank God Scott ain't here, T-Bob ain't here. But where also I was coming from is I was one of the only kids I knew. I had every single toy. I had the Boulder Hill play set. I had all the cars. I had Rhino. My Rhino didn't explode. Spoilers, even though this book was published way back years and years ago at this point. But so Rhino, I would say Rhino was my favorite. Not because it's just kind of like a Optimus Prime knockoff, even though it isn't. But that was my favorite. So as I was going through this, I was like, oh, wait, where's Rhino? What's going on? Why is the team different? Why are all and Julio Lopez, didn't even remember Julio, literally after we do the recording, not literally right after, but I'm going to have to go back and watch the first season of M.A.S.K to remember Julio in the show, because as I was reading this, I'm like, I don't remember Julio at all. So, yeah, that's where I was coming from. And I knew how I operate. I was not going to let this I view it as its own thing, and whatever Dan Waters as the writer in the new series and Pi Par as the artist, whatever they're doing and what they've told us so far, I'm so ready for that and just cannot wait. So whatever the Energon Universe is doing right now, it's doing it on all cylinders. So, but yeah, getting into this, I don't even know where we want to start. But like we already said, kind of it's your standard thing where Miles, betrays Matt and ends up starting his own team. And it's your I don't want to say standard, but it is. It's the standard masks. There cannot be any different way that apparently that V.E.N.O.M and M.A.S.K and everything gets started. Apparently there just isn't. That's the formula. Go with the formula. It's kind of like Cybertronians are from Cybertron. They can't be from anywhere else. I guess, so, yeah. But, no, and I never got into the whole Revolution and then First Strike after that. I never got into the when IDW started doing those crossovers, I was like, okay. I don't even honestly remember reading any of the other Revolution stuff. Yes,
I can tell you my experience with M.A.S.K prior to this, and my only experience with M.A.S.K has been what we've seen inside of the Energon Universe.
Yeah.
So I was born in 81, so obviously a child through the 80s, but I don't recall anything about M.A.S.K at all.
Really?
I did not read comics as a kid. Not until the 90s. I really only got into Superman during the death of Superman. Death and Rebirth of Superman, rather. Death and Return of Superman. There we go. But I don't remember any comics. I don't remember the cartoon. I remember...
Well, it was just a cartoon as far as I remember. Come on, 85.
There was no comics in the 80s? Okay.
No.
I remember the toys insofar as I remember the ads for the toys, but I don't recall ever seeing them in the store as a kid. In the toy aisles. I just do not recall this at all, which is odd because I was very much into Transformers. I was very much into Knight Rider. It seems like this would be right up my alley, but I just did not get into it at all. It just passed me by completely.
Oh man, you'd love the toys.
So my only experience with M.A.S.K, like I said, is what we've seen in the Energon Universe so far. And then obviously reading this trade paperback here.
Reading this, yeah. So what were your thoughts on this? I really don't want to have to...
I mean, do you want high level here? What are you looking for? Because I can tell you high level, I hated it.
Oh, no.
Absolutely hated it. And I think it's unfair to say that. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay, go ahead.
The trade that we have here, right? I'm looking at I don't know what page this is inside of the trade. It's page 5, I guess. So 306, according to the thing I've got here.
Okay.
It's got everything listed out here, right? So there are 12 issues in here. You said Revolution,
Yep.
issue 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, annual 2017, then issues 6 through 10.
Yep.
And as I was reading this, it became clear, especially once we got to there's a point in the story, and I don't remember which issue this is. This is about where I stopped the first time and said, I don't know if I'm going to read the rest of this. So this might be issue 5, issue 6, or the annual. I don't know. I don't remember. But there's effectively a spot in the story where we get to the M.A.S.K characters are now interacting with a couple of the G.I. Joe characters.
Yep.
Right. So there's Scarlet, and I think there is what's the guy's name? Is
I know you're.
What's his name? Night Stalker.
Night Stalker, I think so.
Yeah. Night Stalker. I think those are the only two Joes we see.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, they're talking about. They don't specifically say the word Transformers, but they're talking about Cybertronians.
Yeah, they specifically say Cybertronians. Yeah.
And we see the two Joe characters, and I'm like, oh man, this is where I was like, oh, this is going to spoil me. And again, not the story, but spoil me for enjoying M.A.S.K in the Energon Universe, because eventually all those properties are going to come together, and I think we're going to get that announcement at Comic-Con, by the way. So, well, but I feel like all right, this is going to spoil my enjoyment of the Energon Universe stuff, so I'm going to stop, and that's where I told you I'm not going to read anymore.
Yeah.
Up to that point, I feel like the story was very cohesive. When we kick off with Revolution, based on my remembrance here, like I didn't take notes here.
Yeah.
But from my remembrance of this, I feel like it started the story off really well, and it actually started kind of in the future and then went backwards to kind of tell the story. Generally speaking, anytime that's used as like a storytelling device, I hate it, especially in TV shows. But it seemed to work okay here. One of the things they touched on where Matt was talking about, we'll explain why like M.A.S.K is, what's the K stand for? Command. Like why Command starts with the letter K.
We'll tell you that later.
I was looking for that, and I saw it nowhere in the comic.
Yeah, so it's a joke. Yeah, it's a joke.
Okay, so that pissed me off. But it seemed like up until that point, like the story was very cohesive. It was easy to understand, easy to follow. And once we got past that point, I felt like the story was all over the place. That's where it's almost like I feel the story or this trade didn't capture every bit of the story that it needed to for me to enjoy the entire thing. Because I didn't realize going into this that this was a shared universe inside of IDW, which clearly it is, right? There's G.I. Joe involved.
Yeah, G.I. Joe
involved at some point.
Yep.
I feel like we're missing out on some of the M.A.S.K stuff that occurred in those issues that we don't have here. Like by the time we get to the end and Zartan shows up and this monster comes out of the earth, out of the mountain, Mount St. Helen.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is any of this? How does any of this have to do with anything I just read previously? It's like, it just seems like totally out of the blue. And I don't know like where those plot points came from or why they were highlighted here. Because if you read, like I said, if you read the first initial issues and then you read the end of this, it's like, it seems like two completely different series, even though it's written by the same person, which completely confused me. So the only thing I could think of is there are pieces of this story that are missing because they're in these other properties, which we don't have here in this trade.
Yeah, and I don't blame that on Mr. Easton. That's not his fault. That's IDW's fault because clearly, and like, so.
I mean, the way this started was they're down in, I think it's Miami. Is that right? They're down in Miami. Like that whole, if they would have just stayed there and like carried out whatever missions they're doing, this would have been like a completely awesome series. Like I would have gone back and reread this numerous times because it almost felt like I don't know, like a modern day-ish like Miami Vice type thing where they've got this whole group of characters, except in this case, these characters have some semi-quasi powers because of their masks, and they've got these souped up vehicles and everything. But it was sort of like I'm going to say quote unquote based in reality, even though it's like reality with future sci-fi. At least that made sense. But by the time we got to the end and we got these monsters crawling out of the out of the earth, and we've got all these Zartan clones, and I still have no idea what they are. It just seems like so off the wall. It's not even funny.
Yeah, that was a little because literally, so I was trying my best. I am quote unquote Facebook friends with Mr. Easton. Never have I reached out to the man up until preparation for this. I didn't get any responses, which is fine. I understand the man's busy, doesn't want to be bothered. That's fine. But I genuinely asked him some genuine questions in order to prepare for this. And I made a comment. I was like, oh, cool, Sean Berger. Cool, nice. Love that reference. And then it went to hell and hell in a hell basket. Like, what the? Like, okay, that took to quote Bugs, it took a really sharp left turn in Albuquerque, because yikes, dude. I didn't say this to him, obviously, but like, yeah, that was a little much. And what gets me is that, yes, I know technically in a trade paperback, usually you have 12 issues in a trade. However, why is the first strike issue not in here? That's what I want to know. Like, that would have made it so much. That would have been the missing piece, I think, maybe. Because, I don't know. At the end of this, just to go straight, I'm going to go straight to the end. But going to the end of this trade, the only thing I liked about the ending to this is Tracker saying, next time I'm going to do it smarter, I'm going to do it better, I'm going to build a better team, or whatever it is that he says. Like, that's the only thing I like.
I didn't like that either, because then it's like, did and this, I guess, this is a question I'm asking you. Mm-hmm. I didn't look this up prior. Like, does the story continue after this? Like, is there more masks, or is this it?
No, this is it. Like, literally. So the trade. So the trade that I originally so I wanted to find everything, and when I looked up, because originally I looked it up on the TF Wiki, which is what I'm on right now. And it originally was published in 2 volumes, which is the first 5 or 6 issues, and then the second half, whatever. And then they did a full, which is this version of the trade. And I thought, okay, that means they're going to give us everything, right? Right? Thinking they were going to put the first strike issue in. They didn't. Which is fine. It's their publishing company. They can do whatever the hell they want to as far as collected editions, whatever. But yeah, no, there is no more M.A.S.K after this. It was done.
Because I'm looking at maskforce.com, for example, and they have like the IDW stuff on here. Mm-hmm. And they have IDW Revolution 00, which is that what you're talking about? This is like the prelude to the M.A.S.K comic.
Yeah, which
Revolution Prelude, sorry.
Yeah, Revolution Prelude, which is in a remote military base, Miles Mannheim observes Matt Tracker, Gloria Baker, Julio Lopez. That has to be this, right? Here, hold on, let me pull this up.
Ooh. Technical difficulties. Let's move on, shall we?
Now back to M.A.S.K and Venom.
Okay, so the trade that we have is M.A.S.K, Mobile Armored Strike Command, Riding Venom's Trail. This was published in 2018. This is those 2 trades put together. All right, where are we? Where do we want to be?
You were talking about the ending. I was talking about how I didn't like that either.
Yeah,
there's a whole bunch of this comic that I do enjoy. Like I said, effectively the whole first half of this I really enjoy. There are some very stupid moments in here. One of them, for example, is Matt is attacking Miles, and just for no reason at all of a sudden, and I realize after the fact that, I mean, they explain this, it ends up being a hologram.
Yes.
But his mom just shows up for no reason at all.
Yeah, that was...
It's like, what? How does that even make sense in any part of this story in any way at all? It doesn't. So it's like, I don't know.
That was a little, some of the... It's not, I don't even think it's jumps in logic. I think it's the way that... I don't think it's the way that we're even reading it. I just think it's the way that it's... I don't know, man. When I read this, and I've only read it once, I skimmed through it before the record just to do a refresher. I enjoyed, I want to say, 70-30. I enjoyed it 70% of the time, and I had problems with it 30% of the time. For this being, I want to say, the first time I've read Brandon Easton as a comic book writer, I liked it for the most part. But there are still things in here where it's like, I don't know. I think for me, what I want to know more and see more with his writing is I want to see more about the people as they're dealing with their masks and their vehicles. Like the whole, I'm stuck on the Rhino thing. The Rhino Rhino telemetry and telepathy, and how you have to have two, but one can also do it. So kind of, sort of, but not really. And how dare you blow up my favorite truck in M.A.S.K history, and blah, 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 blah. Because, but I mean, no. I liked it overall for the most part. It's not a comic I'm going to read again. It's not a reread for me, but having the experience now, it makes me want to, like I said at the beginning of the podcast, it makes me want to go back and watch the old episodes of the cartoon. It makes me, I mean, I already had hype for the Energon Universe version. It makes me even more interested to see what Dan Waters is going to do with the Energon Universe version, and the multiple interviews I've heard from him along with Pipar, and just hearing how excited they are about the Energon Universe version of M.A.S.K. I'm very excited to see what they do.
Well, I think I'm probably, you said you're about 70-30. I think I'm about 50-50. And again, if we break it down, like first half of this, the second half, and it's probably where the 50-50 is going to come into play. I feel like once we hit the midway point, I mean, even before we hit the midway point, well, no, I take that back. Let me go to the very front here. So once we hit the midway point, we effectively switch artists as well, right? And we don't get Tony Vargas anymore. He does Revolution issue 1, 2, 4, and 5. He bails out for issue 3 for some reason, but we get him effectively for the first entire half. And I love the artwork. The artwork when he was doing it was fantastic, I thought. Later in the rest of this book, I would say it's a mixed bag. But the first half of this book, I really, really enjoyed the art. I think as far as the writing goes, this is like, when you compare with what Easton does versus with, again, I've only read his stuff inside the Energon universe. Yeah. But when you compare it with what Kirkman has been doing, I think it's like night and day difference. Like when you open this up, like there's just so much text on each page, right? The art is doing a great job at visually storytelling, but then there's a lot of spoken word happening here as well. And when you compare it with stuff that like Kirkman does, it's not really the case. Or I guess I would even say like most of the Energon Universe comics, right? There's not a whole lot that's going on in these word bubbles.
No.
So we don't have what is there, right? There isn't a whole lot of word bubbles. So, to see it packed on here, it's not as packed as what it is with like More Than Meets the Eye and Robots in Disguise.
Okay.
Hang on. Completely different people.
Hang on a second here. The Robots in Disguise and More Than Meets the Eye are essentially
you said they're like novels, right?
They're like novels / stage plays with visual accents around them.
All right, I mean that's fair, but here, like I'm saying, like there's a lot of text on here, which I think is good because there's a lot of story here on these pages. It's just once we hit that midway mark, I don't know what the hell happens. But it just goes, in my opinion, the story just goes completely off the rails, and I had a hard time following it. That's where it's like, I don't know if other mask pieces were introduced in G.I. Joe, inside of Transformers, and it's just not included here. Again, I don't know that it's the fault of the writing. As you mentioned, it's the fault of IDW for not including those bits here because we're losing out on part of the story. And because of that, it's hard to understand what's going on. But I think the first half is very easy for me to follow. And then, like I said, I don't know if they started having more crossover when the second half happened here. But for me personally, I had a hard time following the story.
Yeah.
A couple of other things that I disliked throughout this. I don't know that I got a sense from reading this, which is funny because this was the introduction of M.A.S.K, like why we have these masks at all, why we have these vehicles at all. Like, why are they a thing? Why did Miles Mayhem put this team together only to say, oh, my bad, I'm out, peace out, and I'm putting together my own group? It's like, but you were just putting together the M.A.S.K group. Now you're leaving it and you're putting together the V.E.N.O.M group. I didn't understand why that happened.
Okay, but that's the thing, though. Let me try to. It's following formula from the show. He's essentially traitoring. He's
but give me a valid reason as to why you're doing it. Like, that's not even stated here. I get it that, right, this is like a throwback to, a good versus bad. We need a good guy and a bad guy version of this. But, like, it's not explained why he just, like, gives up the M.A.S.K group and is like, I'm going off to make V.E.N.O.M. It just sort of happens. And, like, I didn't follow that. Like, at least within the Energon universe that we've seen so far, like, we haven't seen Miles really do anything with the masks. I still don't understand. Again, I have no background on M.A.S.K. I don't know why these masks are created. I don't know why they have to tie in with the vehicles. I don't understand any of that. There's no background, no backstory on any of that here. I'm hoping in the Energon universe we get some of that, but here in IDW, from what we've read in here, I've not seen any of that. Now, maybe I should have come into this knowing about M.A.S.K, but if this is my first introduction and I don't know any of it, it seems like it should be in the story.
Yeah, but again, everybody's good.
With what you've got pulled up here right now, yes. I have no idea what the hell this has to do with the story at all. I'm like, are we looking at Street Fighter characters here? Like, what the hell's going on?
Sorry, I forgot I had the screen share still on. Sorry. Let me turn that off.
No, I mean, that's fine. Like, I was reading that, I'm like
trying to. I'm trying to find the annual in the thing because I wanted to discuss the annual at some point. That's
like I effectively just read through that portion and I just kind of skipped the rest of it because I'm like, I have no idea how this has any merit to what I'm reading. So it looks like Street Fighter. And I'm just gonna go on by it.
There we go. No. Sorry. I forgot I had the screen share still on. No, but no, you're right. But here's the thing, though. Like, one of the things I love in podcasting is, like, I have most of the history with M.A.S.K. Like I said, grew up with the cartoon, had the toys, yada, yada, yada. You don't have any of that history. So you're just walking into this kind of cold. I started you out with this to not necessarily get you into what we have coming over on the other show with another comic review with the Energon Universe, but to just kind of, see what the previous comic company did with the license kind of thing. Because this is my first time ever reading this, even though I knew the cartoon and I was already excited. Like I said, I've already said multiple times in this, I was already excited for it. There's that end point. That's what I was looking for. But it's one of those things where I just wanted to, like, there's nothing wrong with something being somebody's first time for whatever. That's how the world goes around. Everybody has to have a first at some point or another. And, I understand you're worried about having this be the first mask thing, even though technically it isn't. The Energon Universe was because of Free Comic Book Day. But like reading this versus reading that, I don't think this is going to affect what you read in the Energon Universe, because this is, thankfully, they didn't go on to make, as much as I would have been interested to read the story, this is the only mask we have. So, for IDW, and I just needed to get more M.A.S.K in my life. And since last year was the 40th anniversary last year, and we've got this coming up and all this and all that, I wanted to get this, an episode for the IDW book, in the books, as it were. But no, what I was looking for, as you were, alluding to, I was looking for the story in the 2017 annual, because the 2017 annual has two stories. It has the Death Stone, which is a title reference to the very first episode of M.A.S.K, and it has Child's Play. Child's Play, which I thought was Sly's origin, it's not. It's Cliff Dagger's origin. As he's pummeled by an opponent, undefeated champion Body Bags, rising MMA star Cliff Dagger has a flashback to his childhood, remembering when he was awoken late one night and beaten by his drunken father after he learned that Cliff hadn't fought back against a bully at school. And I wanted to discuss this because, first of all, folks, bullying is not, no, just, don't even do that. I was bullied as a kid myself, so bullying must be stopped no matter the cost. But I love that in the annual, they chose to highlight a story like this. And I thought that story was, story for standing up for yourself and just do whatever you can to stand up for yourself, and that Cliff Dagger would eventually go on to become part of Venom's team, and just the way they used the character, I thought it was so good. So I just love that part of the annual. The other story is just your standard kind of M.A.S.K story. It's not, I don't know. It's just your standard M.A.S.K story. It's a way of homaging the debut of the animated series 41 years ago. Yes.
Who was your least favorite character in all of this? Because I think mine ended up being Matt Tracker.
I don't
like the characters constantly. Miles specifically is like constantly saying like, he's effectively like running him down, right? He's like, You don't have what it takes to be a leader. He calls him out all these numerous times, and then by the end of the book, his own teammates are saying the same thing, and then he even walks away from the team.
Yeah, he
It's
walks
like,
away from the team.
it's very much like a struggle of like trying to be the leader, right? Kind of what we see in like Transformers season 3 with Rodimus Prime,
Hey,
right?
now, wait a minute. Hold on. Full dead stop. You are not going to sit here and compare Matt Tracker to Rodimus Prime.
We're in big trouble.
Relax. Enjoy the ride.
It's very, very similar, yeah.
Stop it.
Right, but he's like, I'm not going to learn from any of this with my current team, right? Like, why try to improve myself? I'm just going to walk off and I'm going to start a new team. It's like, okay.
Well,
again, I know the story ends there, but it's like, if that's effectively what happens, that's pretty terrible as a leader.
Yeah, Rodimus never did that, though, thankfully. So at least Rodimus is better than Matt in that one aspect.
Last big party of the summer, folks. Let's go out with a bang.
Yeah, I would not say that I like Matt in this. I like Sly, and I like Brad. Brad's always been a cool character to me. So that's one from each side. What about you?
In terms of a character I liked or didn't like?
Yeah, I liked.
So I think, and I got a thing I'm going to talk about what I also didn't like about this, but I think I liked Gloria the most.
Okay.
I think just her interaction with Matt, not just from like the love affair aspect of it, but like she's the one who calls him out by the end of this thing.
Yeah.
Although she does kind of like turn back on that and like hugs him here at the end because he effectively didn't die. But I think her interaction with Matt and trying to get him to, I don't know, be a better leader, I think was good to see. The part that I didn't like about this character, and this is not a negative thing on the writing. This is more on the artist, is like she's drawn very salaciously in the first half here. So I can only imagine it's because of our artist here. What's his name? Because of our artist, Tony.
Tony Vargas, I think?
Yeah. I just kept seeing like page after page. I'm like, okay, this is definitely drawn for the horny teenage boy. Because it was like one page after the next was like, it was just getting worse and worse. I guess maybe you could say the same thing about
Vanessa
as well, but I think we see it more with Gloria because we effectively see more of Gloria.
Yeah, that's true. I'd like to see more of Vanessa, actually. But that goes back to my childhood.
Okay.
On the GCRN Universal Ratings scale, the Geek Meter, we rate 0 to 5 with half points. What are you going to give? What the hell's this thing called? Oh God. The M.A.S.K trade all in one. What are you going to give it? 0 to 5 with half points.
So again, I think I enjoyed the first half of this story. I enjoyed the art in the first half of this story. I think the writing throughout was good, regardless of the fact that I didn't really like the second half of this story, because again, I think we're missing parts of the story. So the story didn't make any sense to me. Or the writer was told, hey, we're going this direction now. Ignore everything you did previously. Because again, I think if you read the first half of this and the second half of this, they do not mesh together story-wise at all. It just feels like it almost feels like a different writer.
Yeah.
But I know that it's not. So it's like there was a change of direction or something there. It's like we got to work in these story beats because of the overall grander story inside of this universe of IDW. I don't know, because again, I didn't read IDW. But with that said, I would probably give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Again, I know I said I liked it was probably about 50-50, but I think probably a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah. I'm right there with you. I think it's, like I said, it's I like 70-30. There's like minor nitpick type things, and for those that may need a reminder on what 3.5 is on the geek meter for GCRN rating scale, it is good. It's a mixed bag, but the good stuff outweighs the bad. There might be one amazing element or lots of fun moments that make the flaws easier to swallow. They are not deal breakers, but they do hold it back.
Well, maybe I'll dump it down to a 3.
Okay, 3.5 3 is average. Meh,
Right.
It's not bad. It's not amazing either.
For me, it would be an easy 4 if the second half of this story matched the first half.
Yeah, like I said earlier, that 30% for me is basically Sean Berger turns into a giant whatever the hell. That was weird as hell.
And then, like you said, the Zartan shows up and Zartan's clones and all of this, and it's like,
and I don't
stop the clones.
Yeah, and I don't mind like M.A.S.K and G.I. Joe working together hand in hand or foot in foot or vehicle in vehicle. That's fine. I loved Scarlet working with M.A.S.K. That was cool as hell to me. That was part of my 70% was seeing Scarlet with them, because I'm like, ooh, I can now see Kelly Thompson writing a new Scarlet miniseries featuring Scarlet and Gloria against Vanessa and somebody. Oh God, Scarlet and Gloria versus Vanessa and Baroness. M.A.S.K. Gia. Oh God, Kelly Thompson. I can hear it in my head. I know it'll never happen. Anyway. You're giving it a 3. I'm giving it a 3.5. Like I said, my 70% kind of outweighs my 30% of the bad stuff. I still enjoyed it overall. Like, anytime I can walk away from reading a comic feeling good and not feeling like, oh my God, why did I read that? That's a good comic reading adventure for me.
Yeah, it was more along the lines of, what did I just read?
Yeah.
Opposed to, why did I read this?
Yeah, exactly.
But again, that's the second half. The first half, I think, is certainly more on par with what I would be interested in story-wise for like an ongoing comic. Less of the sci-fi stuff we get here at the end, which, again, doesn't make any sense to me. So,
Yep, absolutely. All right, folks, we're going to send it to a quick ad break. You're going to hear some podcast ads and some other stuff, something I have to get Jesse to record for himself at some point. And we'll be back right after this to close the show.
Emergency! Panic situation! We're stranded!
Relax, there's a phone right here.
So what? There's no phone book.
I've memorized my home phone and address. I don't need the phone book or information. It's important to know these things in case of an emergency. Hi, Dad.
Hello, all sentient beings. Want the latest on everything going on in the Transformers multiverse? Check out the Transmissions Podcast Network. We've got weekly podcasts covering everything from Alpha Trion to Omega Supreme, from old school G1 all the way up to Cyberverse and beyond. And you don't want to miss Empire of Rust, the world's first and only Transformers live play role-playing game podcast. If you love Transformers, there's something for everyone at transmissionspodcast.com.
What's up, folks? My name is Mike, and I am the host of the Mike Seibert Radio Podcast, your favorite Transformers adjacent podcast, and I've got 60 seconds to tell you all about my show. Good thing I've got a catchy theme song to do most of the work for me.
Mike Seibert Radio, we talk about stuff and things, lots of guests in-depth interviewing. Mike Seibert Radio, it's nobody's favorite show. Movies, comics, video games, and TV.
I also talk about the Transformers the movie about as much as I talk about Boba Fett. My guests are independent artists who tell their stories and give terrific advice about pursuing your creative interests, and I encourage you to do the same thing, even if I can't take my own advice. Brevity is not my first best strength, but you can subscribe to Mike Seibert Radio on most podcast apps so you never miss an episode. Make good choices.
It's time for Mike Seibert Radio.
It is a world transformed, where things are not what they seem.
Transformers.
Want to learn a bit about the Transformers? Think you know everything about Cybertron, but are looking to learn a little bit more? Enroll today at Transformers University Podcast. Each episode will tackle a piece of Transformers history, starting in 1984 and marching our way up to today. Hosted by me, Anthony Brucali, 3-time Emmy Award winner and consulting producer on Netflix's The Toys That Made Us, and lifelong Transformers fan. We'll go on a journey through cartoons and comics, toys and movies, and all the weird esoterica from around the world, chronicling the adventures of everyone's favorite robots in disguise. Listen to Transformers University on iTunes, Google, Spotify, YouTube, and wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Transform and roll out!
Hello, geeks and geekettes! Looking for a podcast that covers a vast array of topics? Then check out Altered Geek Unleashed, where we discuss our thoughts on this week's geeky news, tech, gaming, television shows, movies, cartoons, comics, and more. So, get altered, get geeky with the Altered Geeks, every Friday on the Geekcast Radio Network.
Are you in need of what the heck did I just listen to? Are you in need of a laugh at the expense of the internet? Boy, do I have a treat for you. Here at Lyrically Audacious, we turn just about anything into music. Visit us now at youtube.com/@symbol, Lyrically Audacious, all one word. So swing by, have a laugh. Stay lyrical, stay audacious, here at Lyrically Audacious.
On the Simplistic Reviews podcast, we talk movies. We talk TV. We talk.
Hello, Julie, what the heck are you doing?
Trying to make our spots sound more exciting by adding explosions.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could have got the point across with sound effects, not the real thing.
Download this show on iTunes or at simplisticreviews.blogspot.com.
I'm sure your insurance company will cover that.
No, they won't.
No, they probably won't.
We got him. Now back to the show.
All right, folks, we are back here inside the pull bag. This is episode 586. We are so close to 600. Kind of, sort of. Not really, but almost. All right, Jesse, promote yourself, sir. What kind of podcasts are you doing these days? You transforming them wires or something?
I've got another comic review over at anothercomicreview.com. We have Transformers number 32 of the Energon Universe coming out actually tomorrow as of this recording. So looking forward to that. We're heading back to Cybertron. Some of it has already been leaked online, and I've looked at that. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what's in store for the rest of the issue.
I love how he hesitates. I'm not making fun of your stutter or anything, but I love the hesitation of I'm kind of looking forward. Maybe I don't know.
I mean, in what I've seen that's been leaked so far, the art's already hit or miss for me. So I knew that was going to be the case. So
oh no!
It's like, well, am I really looking forward to it? I don't know. We'll see. You can also find me on YouTube. I'm at youtube.com/matrix_prime.
Yeah, there you go, folks. All right, this has been episode 586, and you'll hear all that stuff in the past, folks, since I don't know when this episode's coming out, but because I still have to finish editing episode 581.
Tomorrow. It's coming out tomorrow, right?
Well, this episode?
Yeah.
No. This episode's not coming out tomorrow.
Oh, all right,
this episode's coming out in the far-flung future of 2016, or maybe it'll come out 40 years later, or 40 years in the
Yes, release it on the 80th anniversary, like you were mentioning.
Yeah, no, can't do that. by that time, podcasting will just be something that we, have a wire stuck in our head like the old PS9 commercial. Does anybody remember the PS9 commercial?
I do, yes.
Oh, thank God. Thank God I'm not making that up.
New for 2078. PlayStation 9's new electronic spores tap straight into your adrenal gland. PS9 has improved retinal scanning. A mind control system. Holographic movie surround vision. And telepathic personal music. The ultimate just got better. PlayStation 9. Teleport yours today.
All right, folks. That's going to do it for us. Thank you for joining us here inside the Pullbag. If you'd like to get in contact with us or leave feedback for the show, there are several ways to do so. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can listen to and comment on all of our content. Plus, we now have a brand new fourth wall store. You can visit shop.geekcastradio.com and buy our merch. You can send any email to feedback@geekcastradio.com. You can check us out on all the podcatching clients you choose to use, stuff like Spotify and any other podcatching client and all that good stuff. We are on X still because we just are at Geekcast Radio for the network, at the Pullbag for the show. I am at TFG on Mike. You can become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Geekcast Radio Network. You can also check out the Pullbag over there as well. Next time, we head back to DC with something that's already been recorded. Thankfully, I only have to edit it now. I don't have to do any more recording for next time. We head back to DC Comics, where my buddy Dave McElvany and I discussed the 6 issue, I think it's 5. We discussed Crypto, the last dog of Krypton. For now, I am TFG and Mike with...
Jesse, I think.
You think? You don't know? You're supposed to know these things, man. As always, make it your great escape into comics.
I thought the festival lasted till sunset. It turned out to be a limited engagement.
You should have seen it, Dad. A king cobra followed this floating flute and scared everybody.
And Scott climbed a rope that went straight up in the air.
Wait a minute. Floating flutes, running cobras? Alex? Well, not that it makes any sense, but a fake here somehow did the genuine Indian rope trick. At the same moment, a flute went winging through the air, luring a cobra from the festival.
Then as soon as the cobra left, the rope I was climbing went limp.
Sometimes the eye does not behold the truth. I think I can still catch the curtain call, and maybe Mr. Subas can help.
You've just heard the latest episode of The Pullbag, the GCRN's first comic review and discussion podcast. There are several ways to get in touch with us and leave feedback for the show. You can visit the website, geekcastradio.com, where you can comment on the episode and all of our different podcasts. You can rate and leave a review for the show on iTunes. Be sure to leave us feedback. Become a fan of us on Facebook, facebook.com/thepullbag. Send us an email, feedback@geekcastradio.com. Follow us on Twitter @thepullbag and @geekcastradio. So until next time, make your great escape into comics and unleash the geek in you.
Illusion is the ultimate weapon.